Hi everybody, Miss Sky here again. In this video, we're going to go over expectations and tips for success in this class. Our essential question is, what does it take to be successful academically and behaviorally in this class? Just like our previous lesson, you're going to do a mastery check after you finish with this. You can use your notes on that mastery check, and this one is going to be like I think about a 10-question quiz on some of the content from here. So take good notes, write things down, and then take that with you when you do the mastery check. So first of all, just some tips for video lessons. When you're watching a teacher video, find a quiet place to watch. And I say that because you might be at your assigned seat, or maybe you're more comfortable sitting on a counter. That is totally fine. It's about finding what works for you and for the teacher. Wear headphones. This is a requirement. Even if you like to set up closed captions, which are great, you should have your headphones on so you can hear what the teacher is saying. Bring notes, clipboard, and pencil. If you would like to use a clipboard, if you're not at your traditional desk, maybe you're sitting on the floor or on the lab counter, we do have clipboards. Rewind if unclear and pause when instructed. Stay focused on your device and focused on the video screen. There shouldn't be any other screens open. And record questions so you can follow up with a peer or teacher. That's a great just practice for taking notes, is writing down questions in the margins. You are welcome to pause the video as you go and call the teacher over, but you might find that in the video it kind of clarifies things for you. So if there's any points where you're feeling confused, record those so that you can follow up with somebody. So speaking of the mastery checks, there are 3 different possible grades you could get on a mastery check. Some of the mastery checks only have 2, and I'll talk about that, but most of them will have 3 possibilities, and the teacher will circle which one that you've gotten. So you'll get one of these 3. If you get a M, 4 out of 4, that stands for mastered. Congratulations, you've demonstrated mastery of that concept. You're ready to advance to the next lesson. If you get the R, 3 out of 4, that one's a little bit of that gray area. Sometimes a mastery check won't have that. If I really just want it to be really like clear cut, you either mastered or didn't. But this is for when you're really close. And it really becomes up to you of whether you do want to revise and get that full credit 4 out of 4, or if you're just like, no, I'm ready to just advance to the next lesson. And then revise 2 out of 4 means that there's some significant concepts that you need to demonstrate. So you need to review the video, revise practice work, check in with teacher, check in with another student, and then try again. So what I want you to take away from this is that in this class, you can revise your work, you can revise these assessments until you've demonstrated mastery. So as many times as that takes. Now, that being said, if you've attempted it twice and you still haven't demonstrated mastery, you might need some extra help with that. And if you accept that help, then you'll get that 3 out of 4 on there if you can do it with support, and then you're ready to move on. All right, so we have 3 different lesson classifications. I think I talked about this a little bit in the previous lesson, but this is part of our self-pacing structure. So we have our must-do, should-do, and aspire-to-do assignments. And your must-do assignments, these are the quintessential content that I want everybody to get. And they are, the majority of lessons will be must-do lessons. They account for 90% of your grade. All right, so this is the biggest bang for your buck. The should-do assignments, they aren't necessarily always harder. Sometimes they are, but they are just a little bit of extra enrichment for understanding contents and better developing mastery. So that is the last 10%. And you will notice here that just the way the grades kind of break down, that becomes that A option. So if you are aspiring for an A, you'll need to do all or most should-do lessons. And that brings us to aspire to do. These are ungraded in the gradebook, and these are our honors. So there's some resources on modules to talk a little bit more about honors and how you can achieve that. So I won't go into it here, but you might see an aspire to do assignment in the gradebook, it will say not graded under it, and it goes toward people's honors work if they're choosing to do that. You are also totally welcome to dabble into Aspire to do assignments without necessarily committing yourself to honors. That's really awesome. And frankly, that also kind of factors into how a teacher looks at your overall grade distribution. All right, so a little further with that, proficiency-based grades. Every assignment is going to be graded on a 4-point scale. So our mastery checks, labs, projects, anything that we deem worthy of a grade is going to go through that 1 through 4. A highly proficient means that you've met all expectations on the rubric and you were able to show proficiency independently, that is, without outside support from a teacher or peer or a resource that wasn't offered to everybody. Proficient means that you've met all expectations set on the rubric with support, or you were just at that point on a mastery check where you were really close to meeting those expectations, and that kind of becomes that teacher discretion, like, yeah, this is more than a 2. Because a 2 does not meet expectations set on the rubric. It's just not enough accuracy has been shown to show that you've mastered this content and you're ready to move on. Developing proficiency is left over for missing work or if the response was irrelevant. So you might see some 1s in the gradebook if you are falling behind pace and you are behind that suggested due date, in which case that's a reminder that this is work that you need to be keeping up with. And anything that is a 1, you should know can be moved up throughout our course. Your letter grade is calculated based off of your average performance on these assignments. And again, I mentioned that just previously, but in order to get that A, we're talking about proficient and highly proficient across all assignments, which does include that should do work. Okay, so my classroom expectations. In this part of the video, I'm going to go over my behavioral expectations. These are different than our class norms that we come up with, but these are just the behavioral expectations that I have, kind of the nitty-gritty for this course. Our classroom materials, our cell phones, and I know that we've talked about that before, but I want to reiterate it for this class, and hall passes. Oh, and our safety and academic honesty. All right, so behavior. I have 3 behavioral expectations. The first is mastery. The goal is to learn, not to get it done. So it's not just about getting the grade, it's about really learning the material and having that kind of a focus within our class. And again, that's why I offer retakes on anything. Support. Give help and space so that everyone can learn. So give help. This is a self-paced class that offers more collaboration, and that can be a really great support, but also providing space so that everybody can learn. Sometimes you need to just step back and allow people to do their work. With that in mind, responsibility. Manage your time and respect materials. So you're managing your time for yourself. You're also being responsible for those around you. And of course, respecting materials, which goes into our classroom materials. This is a shared classroom. We are sharing this classroom with other teachers and other students. So we want to make sure that we're leaving the classroom as we found it, if not better. There are some materials that are specific to this class. You're going to need your science unit notebook every day. I do provide a spot for you in the classroom to keep your notebook. So you don't have to take that home with you if you're worried about losing it. Your Chromebook and charger. You wouldn't believe how many times last year students came with their Chromebook, but they didn't have their charger and it wasn't charged. It's a useless piece of gear if it doesn't have a charge. We have charging ports all throughout the classroom, so that's really easy. So this is a great class for you to charge your Chromebook in. Headphones, which I provide, or earbuds, and you are welcome to use your personal earbuds if you prefer those to the class-provided headphones. If you are misusing those, which I'll talk about on the next slide, then you'll have to use the headphones that are provided. Your pencil, of course, and I recommend that you have highlighters or extra pencils, and I do have those in our supplies, but that's just really helpful for taking focused notes and being able to take good quality notes that you can refer back to. Okay, so personal earbuds. Your earbuds are okay in this class during these instructional videos. And I know that that is different. That's a different expectation than you would have for other classes. But during lecture, right, since it's a video, you are welcome to use your earbuds. Earbuds are not okay during group work. I'm going to flicker that one a few times. They are not okay during group work, and I don't ever want to see them during group work. So if they are used inappropriately, let's say during group work, or if you are not using them for the video, you'll need to use the class headphones instead. So I'm going to start off with this level of trust, but understand that that is a privilege to be able to use your personal earbuds. If your cell phone or earbuds are out during inappropriate times, I'm going to direct you to put them away. I will contact home on the first offense, and that's it. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Attendance. Attendance is taken right at the beginning of class. It's updated throughout class as needed. So right when that bell rings, I'm taking attendance. There are some different codes that might show up on Synergy, on Student View or Parent View. I want you to understand what those mean. So if you are marked with an L, that means you were tardy. You came late to class. Less than 25% of the class was missed. If you were late returning from an appointment, so if you go to an appointment, let's say that you're seeing your counselor, and you get a little slip that tells me what time that you left their office, and that doesn't match up with when you are returning to class in a logical amount of time, that is a reason that I would mark you as tardy. Getting marked LAT means you are late after tardy. That's over 25% of the class missed. Getting marked as skip means that you left class without permission for any amount of time, or you were out of class even if you had the pass for 15 minutes or longer. So I want to talk a little bit more about our hall passes. If you're out of class, you need a pass all the time. Teachers will stop you in the hall and ask to see that pass. So you really want to make sure that you have that. We go one at a time. Aim for 5 minutes or less that you're out of the class. If you're out of the class for 15 minutes or more, your attendance will be marked skip. And I'm going to be really strict about that, especially at the beginning of the year. Like, I'm not talking 15 minutes and 30 seconds. Like 15 minutes, I'm watching that clock, and I will mark as skip. So it's really important that you are being, that's way more time than you should need. Really, I would say 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. You can't go in the first 15 or last 15 minutes of class. That's a Franklin policy. And if you leave the class without permission, even if it's that like 30 seconds before the bell, that is a reason to mark skip. So make sure that you are being responsible about that. There's 2 different kinds of passes. If you are going to your locker, water, bathroom, you'll grab that plastic pass. Those are for quick reasons that you would be out of class. The signed paper pass is for longer things. So you definitely want to let me know or let the teacher know if you need to do any of these following things. You're checking in with another teacher, going to the office, anywhere, going to the library. You'll need to get a different kind of pass for those because the expectation is that might take you a little bit longer, and we want to make sure to reserve those plastic passes for people who have those quick business to take care of. All right, so the last couple slides, I just want to go over some of the agreements around safety, and so I'd like to just read this to you, take notes as needed, but really just kind of hear this and keep this in mind. So if students are goofing off or acting inappropriately in the lab, they'll be immediately removed from the lab or classroom and will be required to get data from group mates and make up analysis on their own time. So I will set up with another teacher to have a space if a student is not able to act safely in the classroom, or if it's worthy of it, I will send a student to the office. But the important thing is here, you're responsible for your work. You'll have to make that up on your own time. Academic honesty. I have a strict policy regarding cheating. Cheating includes copying someone else's work, letting yourself be copied. You might not think of that as cheating, but that is a form of academic dishonesty, or using resources when not allowed. So for instance, Using notes if notes aren't allowed, or using your computer or anything else, obviously a cell phone. If you have cheated, you will receive a DP, until you can find a time to come in and retake the test or task in an honest fashion. And I will contact your guardians. Okay, and lastly, the emotional safety and trust. I have high expectations for behavior in and out of class, especially regarding respect toward others. I expect that we will make mistakes, will treat violations of the norms with a level of forgiveness while seeking to find solutions so that the class can work for everyone. I strive to keep a safe space for all students to learn, and am absolutely not tolerant of hurtful words or actions, including racist, homophobic, sexist, or other insensitive remarks. I will hold you and your classmates accountable for contributing positively to our classroom community. Thank you for listening to this video. You are now ready. Get out of here. Yeah, that was a good take. That was a good take on the video. It was a good take on the video.
I didn't even say anything. You literally ruined your own video. You just told me like you went like this, so I knew not to say anything. You fucked up.
Wait, no, I'm still going. I'm still rolling. I'm gonna retake this part, and then I'll just edit that part out.
Quick
Okay.
question.
Nope. Wait. 20 seconds. I will hold you and your classmates accountable for contributing positively to our classroom community. Thank you for watching this video. You are now ready to take the mastery check. It's going to be a 10-question quiz. You are allowed to use notes, no computer or other materials. Please remember to write your first and last name, the date, the period on the mastery check. Done.
Do you guys want one of these, Bill Oregon?